Hello and welcome. As you can tell by the title, I'm the Obsessed Movie Man, OMM. I got back from watching X-Men First Class, and I think it'd be appropriate to give my review since my initial thoughts were really messed up and rambling. I'm sorry, there might be a few spoilers in this, but most of the things I'm going to say are just from the trailer, so you should know. Except for one thing, and I'll let you know. It was good. It was really good. I cannot, like I've said, I cannot vouch in the perspective of a hardcore X-Men fan. I've only read a few comics. And so all I could go on was just all the previous films and continuity things. Like I've said, my initial thoughts, and I watched the first 3 films last night. I saw Origins 2 days ago because I sort of wanted to try and make it look like I watch them in chronological order. I've never tried that in the X-Men films, and so it'd be really... From what I understand, Origins is not part of this continuity. Apparently, it's like it never happened. And I don't really understand why. I've heard recently many people not liking Origins, and there's probably a good reason, but I enjoyed Origins. Now, I'm going to talk about just the film in general. And you could get this from the trailer. It's about Magneto, Eric, and Charles, and just, it's supposed to be their relationship and stuff as friends. But I must say, I didn't really feel their friendship. I felt their different views on certain things, and their arguments were interesting, like the one scene when they're actually, right before they're about to go into the Cuban Missile Crisis. Amazing, I never heard that in the history books. Mutants were the ones who helped the Now, there were some, I'm going to talk about the continuity problems that I had, and I'm just going to go into the Beast one. Again, I'll try and make it more clear, because I do think I could have done this better. In the second X-Men film, there is a scene where a television is shown, and there are 2 people debating about mutants. One of them is listed as Hank McCoy, which is Beast. No fur. Alright? In the third film, and they say that he was in the original class. Okay. Now, I can somewhat believe that, because Beast was not originally hairy in his initial comics. But with this, it's a pretty big continuity problem. And if you're making an origin story based off the films and not really off the comic books, and you ignore facts from your other established films, that's pretty bad. And I'm going to get into some minor ones. Mystique being 60 at the time of X-Men, or like being very old at the time of X-Men 1. Because she's just a teenager here. Now, they sort of explain this. It was very briefly, like in one scene, where Hank McCoy says that her cells cause her to not age fast. So she's basically Wolverine. Alright? And speaking of which, this is where the spoilers come in. And in fact, when I said speaking of which, you probably know what I'm talking about. So, pause, click off, you are gone. Alright, there is a scene when Eric and Charles enter a bar, and they go up to this one guy. Hi, my name is Charles. My name is Eric. Hugh Jackman, evidently as Wolverine, is sitting at the bar and tells them to go F themselves. And they leave, and there's just a shot of Hugh Jackman, and the audience I was at was like roaring with laughter. There's no way you can counter-argument this one. Alright? In X-Men 1, this is our classic Professor X, Patrick Stewart, Picard, if you will. And by the time in X-Men 1, 2, and 3, he's in the chair. But in X-Men 3, at probably around, I think it was 80s. Yeah, probably 80s. He's old, but he's able to walk. It's like a normal person. Alright? In Origins Wolverine, He's standing, and this is in the 70s. 60s! He becomes paralyzed and he's in the wheelchair. Alright, I can understand if you're discrediting Origins. And you're gonna discredit Origins and say that never happened. But if you discredit the third film, and that one opens with Charles and Eric, you do have a problem. Another thing that was kind of curious was the helmet. Now, they did explain that the helmet actually... the helmet was explained to block out any psychics. So, what happens is Eric takes the helmet for himself, and he block out Charles. Now, Charles figures this out, but in the first one, Eric invents the helmet and doesn't know anything about it. Eric invents the helmet, and Charles doesn't know anything about it. Another thing is, the first one, they say that Charles and Eric built Cerebro, but in this one, it's Hank McCoy who built Cerebro. Okay, for some reason, Cyclops' brother is in this film, even though Cyclops shouldn't be alive yet. You know what? There are a lot of things you can actually nitpick and comment about the X-Men films, but you know what? I still do love them. They may have continuity errors, they may contradict a lot of things, and they may be a little bit stupid, which, let's be honest, they are. But it is enjoyable. I really do enjoy seeing X-Men films. But there's supposed to be a sequel to this, so maybe they will explain that Mystique and Azrael, I think that's how you pronounce it, the Red Demon. I hope they do explain that they are the parents of Nightcrawler. There was no hint of that. None. And I'm greatly disappointed. But I still did enjoy this film. This is OMM, signing out.